Okay, so today kind of what I'm working on is I found my Dremel, and if you look, somebody has been in this before, and that's okay. But I think I did a short video on this before, and I'm going to be getting rid of all of that garbage and smoothing out whatever the hell they've done from the factory there. And then I'm probably gonna go through and just clean up the hard edges like that. I mean, I don't really care about cosmetics, but while it's off, and since I have the tools, may as well. And then once the intake's done, I will go through the cylinder heads and do the same thing. Now here's the header gaskets, and if you line them up on how they bolt down, excuse me, you can see actually you can see that ridge right there. So like my fingernail's touching the exhaust port, and that black shit on this side is causing turbulence. So I'm gonna get rid of it. And then on the intake side, what you do is you just put your intake gaskets on and port them, you know, just kind of raise the roof on them, open it up, clean it up, all that shit in there. And they sell a specific kind of dye you can put on there where you put your intake gaskets or your exhaust gaskets and match them up, and you know, get your Dremel and kind of hog away at it. And so what I'm going to do is get a new set of intake gaskets, because my old ones are pretty shitty that I took off, and mark where they're going to be exactly on the intake and the cylinder head, where they're going to meet, and make sure there's no interruptions, no turbulence there, so it can flow. That's the whole name of the game, is getting your flow down. I'm not a professional at this by no means, but we've all seen YouTube videos on it, right? So it can't be that hard. I've done it to some, when I was on Chevys, I've done it to some small block Chevy 882 heads, and it turned out fine. You can go too far, and you gotta think about the velocity of it all. You know, it's kind of like a garden hose. You can have the same amount of water flowing through a 1-inch inside diameter tube hose, and then you take that same amount of water and you put it in a 4-inch diameter hose, and it's going to be slow. But if you take, like, you know, when you're a kid and you have the garden hose and you put your thumb over the sprayer and it just like squirts out, that's kind of what you're doing when you're doing any kind of port work. You don't want to go too far, and it's honestly best, especially if you're like me and inexperienced on porting, to not try to remove much material as much as you are, you know, just getting your sandpaper rolls and your discs on your Dremel and just cleaning it. And that'll effectively take off, you know, as much material as any inexperienced person needs, just getting rid of all the flash, the casting marks, and bullshit like that. So that's kind of what I'm working on this weekend. I just dropped my kiddos off, so I've got some free time now, and we'll once I get further along in all this, I'll do some before and after pics or videos or whatever, or you can just use this as the before video and you can see the aftermath. Now typically it's best to get a baseline and run it, and then do your port work or whatever after you have a baseline. So if I put these on, and you know, if you don't have a dyno, you can go to the track, because most people don't have a dyno, and you can get your baseline of, you know, say I put the carburetor on there and don't do any port work at all, and I run a, I don't know, a 1220 in the quarter, we'll say, and then I do the port work and clean it all up and whatever, and then I run a 1260, then I've done more bad than good, you know. But obviously if you run, you know, 1170s or whatever, then you've helped it. And if you've made that much improvement just off porting, then probably don't go any further. You know, you're just trying to help it out. That's the video for today. Here's the Buick. I'll do some videos on it too. This car I'm thinking about doing a turbo 6.2 LS motor. It's got a 455 in it now, but that's I bought the car from my cousin for a pretty good deal, and I've gone back and forth with what I want to do with it, if I want to keep it, if I want to sell it or whatever. The interior in this car is, the carpet sucks, but the seats, I mean, headliner, all this, I mean, those, it's just awesome. It's an awesome car. It's supposed to be my daily driver. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.